Hey everybody, gonna do my Calgary Flames season preview now. If you hear Christmas music in the background, it's because my daughter is playing Christmas music in the background. So, there you go. But anyways, this is the Calgary Flames season preview for the 2020-2021 NHL season. To me, it's 2021 because they're starting until January 13th. Why do we need to say 2020 involved with that? But anyways, this is the Flamin' Sea. I am so happy they're bringing back the Flaming Horsehead jersey this year. A lot of people hate it, but I always loved it. I don't know why. Maybe I was a teenager at the time, so I was in that goth phase at that point in my life, so I like flaming horses. But I always liked the Flaming Horsehead jersey. I still have one from when it came out back in the day, so I'm looking forward to seeing that one again. So happy days. Alright, so additions this year for Calgary. They added Alex Petrovic, 1 year, 700,000. Probably going to be their 7th, 8th defender. Jakob Markstrom, 6 year, $6 million per season. And that was their big fish they got in free agency. They finally got a goalie. Someone who may be relatable, hopefully, play-wise to Kiprusoff. Because they haven't had a true starter since Kiprusoff, honestly. And it's been a while. Christopher Tanev, another Vancouver steal, 4 year, $4.5 million to help out that defense that loses TJ Brody this year. Louis Domingue, another Vancouver steal, 1 year, $700,000. Joaquin Nordstrom from Boston, 1 year, $700,000. Dominic Simon from Pittsburgh, 1 year, $700,000. Josh Levo, another Vancouver steal, 1 year, $875,000. And Nikita Nesterov returning from the KHL. Used to be with Tampa, I believe. 1 year, $700,000. That's what they've had this year. Now, what they've lost. Cam Talbot to Minnesota, free agency. Alan Quinn, minor league forward, so not a huge loss, to Edmonton. Mark Jankowski to Pittsburgh. I'm surprised they didn't keep him for at least one more year and see if he could return the way he did 2 years ago compared to last year. But he went to Pittsburgh. Tobias Reeder went to Buffalo. Ryan Lombard to Florida, which again, I put FLO in this video. It's FLA, Ryan, come on. John Gillies to St. Louis. Minor league goalie. TJ Brody to Toronto. I think that one's probably going to be the one that hurts the most out of all their losses. Derek Forbort to Winnipeg. Eric Gustin to Philly. Austin Sarnik to New York Islanders. And they still have Michael Stone and Travis Hamonic as free agents. In which case, Hamonic may not play because, from what I understand, his daughter has health issues, so he doesn't want to risk her getting COVID. Understandable. He may stay a free agent for another year. Michael Stone, he could still re-sign with Calgary. All right, Oliver Kylington re-signed this year, 1 year, $787,500 contract. Andrew Mangiapane, 2 year, $2.425 million per season. Good cheap signing for a guy who provided a lot of secondary scoring for him last year. Buddy Robinson, 1 year, $700,000, and Zach Ronaldo, 1 year, $700,000. Now the cap, they're a bit precarious with their cap. They're at $81 million basically. They have like $223,000 in space. Not much for room for anything. Their forwards, they have Derek Ryan, who I don't see them re-signing after this year at that amount. Give themselves some space. Josh Levo and Joaquin Nordstrom are UFAs. Sam Bennett's an RFA, arbitration eligible. And I mean, there's been a lot of rumors going around Gaudreau, Monahan, Backlund, and Bennett this offseason. So who knows? They do bad, you can see one, if not a few of them go. Or if they're doing good, you may just see Bennett go to give them a little bit of space. Who knows? Dubé's good cheap contract, but he's an RFA after this year. And Dominic Simon's a arbitration eligible RFA after this year too. Alright, here's their defense. Giordano, I mean, he's 37. I mean, you got those 2 years, he'll probably be 39. He may be done after that, but you got him for this year, next year. Hannafin, Rasmus Anderson, Christopher Tanev. You got Juuso Valimaki, who's returning from, I believe it was ACL or MCL tear and surgery last year. Did not play the entire year, but he is their top prospect, actually. And he's got 1 year left, so we'll see what he does this year. Hopefully he can return to form because he looked like he was going to be a good defender for him. And you got Kylington, a RFA after this year, and Nestrov, a UFA. And David Rittich, the backup goalie behind Markstrom, a UFA after this year. So, and they're still paying for 2 more years for Troy Brouwer's buyout and 1 more year for Michael Stone's buyout. This is their non-roster forwards. They got a few RFAs in there, a couple of UFAs. Nothing that's super worrisome. I mean, Glenn Godden is in their top prospect list, so they'll re-sign him as RFA, I'm sure. Defender-wise, that's where they're sitting. I mean, pretty much all of them except for one is either RFA or UFA after this year. And Dustin Wolf, one of their top prospect goalies. He's a junior-eligible goalie, so he's going to stay there this year, I have a feeling. Then you got the R3, who are UFAs or RFA after this year. Alright, their draft. They got Connor Zary, Jan Kuznetsov, Jeremy Poirier, which, honestly, Zary and Poirier were supposed to be earlier draft picks. I mean, Connor Zary was supposed to be mid-second round. He went late. Jeremy Poirier, he should have been probably a late first, early second round pick. And he ended up being third. Mid-third, I believe it is. Jake Boltman, a defender. Daniel Chechelev, a goalie. Ryan Francis, right winger. Rory Cairns, a center. Ilya Soloviev, a defender. And this is where they're sitting with 21 and beyond draft pick wise. They have no 4th round pick next year, but they have Edmonton's 3rd to go with the rest of their normal picks. This is where their lines are sitting. You got Gaudreau, Monahan, Lindholm, which, if they can go back to how they were 2 seasons ago, this could be a very potent offense and very good team. But if they continue the route decline they showed last year, you could see Monahan, Gaudreau traded, so we'll see where they go. But second line, you got Mangiapane, Backlund, Kachuk, good solid second line. Third line, for some reason, they had Lucic, Bennett, and Dubé. I personally would not have Lucic on that third line. I would put him 4th line and leave him there or make him a scratch. But $5.25 million, you gotta play the guy, I guess. Honestly, I think Nordstrom may be better off in that third line role, but it is what it is. I mean, it's a solid third line outside that. 4th line, it's a decent 4th line. I don't think they're going to provide a whole lot of offense, but they're going to be energy, that's for sure. And then defense, you got Giordano and Anderson. They'll be solid. I mean, unless Giordano shows a huge decline with age, but he has yet to. Hanifin and Tanev, second pairing, good solid pairing. They have Kylington and Petrovic. They don't have Valimaki here, who I think will be in instead of Petrovic. So, and he could end up, if he shows well enough in camp, he may push Hanifin or Tanev down. Who knows? You got Markstrom, Rittich, and then you got Simon or Simone, Ronaldo, and Nestrov as scratches. This is their non-roster forwards. This is where their minor league may look. Ruzicka could play. Robinson could play. Froes, I think is how you say his name, could play. Emilio Peterson could play. I mean, Domingue could patch in if a goalie gets hurt. And here's their loan players, which that's where Valimaki is because he's on loan right now. But I think they've already recalled him if they haven't already. If they don't, then they soon will. And that's their prospect list down underneath, down over here. Which Connor Zary, Peltier, those are probably their best forwards. Poirier, but he's not ready yet. So that's where they're at. And Dustin Wolf isn't ready yet. Goalie down there at the bottom. Top prospects are Juuso Valimaki, who did not, like I said before, did not play last year due to an ACL or MCL tear and surgery. Jacob Peltier, 82 points in 57 QMJHL games. Connor Zary, 86 points in 57 WHL games. Dustin Wolf, the goalie, 34, 10, and 2 in 46 WHL games. Connor Mackey, defender, 24 points in 36 NCAA games. Then these were the extra top prospects I saw in the top 10s around. Amelia Peterson, left winger. Glenn Godin, center. Adam Ruzicka, center. And Matthew Phillips, a right winger. I don't know why I didn't get a fifth one if it was top 10. I don't know what happened there. Sorry about that. Their season outlook, I think Calgary will finish middle range. That's where I think they'll finish. I mean, they could finish middle to top of their division because the Canadian, otherwise known as its true name, the North Division, as it is now, as you can see here, is all the Canadian teams. Winnipeg's a solid team. Vancouver's a solid team, but we'll see how they do with Holtby as their goalie instead of Markstrom. Toronto, they're a solid team. I mean, they were awful once they started getting injuries last year, but I think the addition of Thornton could help calm some of that locker room issues down that they have. Ottawa is going to be bottom of the division, so no problem there. Montreal, they looked dang good in the play-in round last year and the first round of the playoffs, so I think they're going to be a solid team. Edmonton is going to be a solid team. So Calgary, like I said, they could be middle of that group or they could be top of that group. They could go from second worst in the division I can see to all the way up to the best team in their division. So that division is hard to pick because they're all, or maybe Ottawa, solid teams. And even Ottawa, they've made a lot of good additions. They got a lot of good young players, but you gotta imagine that's gonna have some growing issues. So I don't see them being a great team yet. They will be in the future. Don't worry about that. They will be, but this year is not the year. But that's where I see Calgary finishing. So hopefully you enjoy the video. If you're a Calgary fan, I don't know what to tell you. It could be good. It could be a very bad year. We'll see. But if you enjoy the video, make sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell in the corner so you can get notified when I drop the next video, which should be Carolina next. So make sure to like, share, comment. I'd love to hear the comments. I'd love to debate hockey with you. If you don't agree with what I'm saying, say something, please. Just be kind and courteous. That's all I ask. And I'd love to debate with you because I can see Calgary being good or bad. So take it or leave it. All right. So I will see you all next video. Have a good one, everybody. Bye.